Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's actually morning. All right, this is your favorite realtor, Ruth Marquise Haynes. All right, so we're going to talk about student loans today. So if you don't have student loans, you can listen. That's fine. This can apply for any debt. Like if you have a super huge car loan, like a brand new car. Like I was talking to my girl, she had a 2017 yesterday. Or if you have a friend that has student loans, share, because sharing is caring, right? So I'm gonna give you a little moment and a couple moments to share. But good morning to everybody. How are you? How are you? How are you? All right, I want you to participate. I want you to talk to me today. All right, so student loans. How many of you have them, right? Like it's like friends. How many of us have them? I think that many of us suffer from the student loan syndrome. I mean, when we were 18, we were happy to go to college and excited, and life was about to change for us. Then we came out of college with or without a degree, but definitely with student loans. So what happens is we got a little problem, right? Because these student loans, like you can have, oh my gosh, I was talking to somebody the other day, and I think she said their school was 60 grand for a music school that doesn't transfer credits anywhere, and she did 2 years or something like that. I'm sorry, that hurts. Like I felt it in my heart. Like, yo, you can be having $80,000 and you can't do nothing with it. Like, this is hard because there's some serious consequences to you having a lot of debt when you want to buy a home. That is actually has been the make it or break it. So here's how it is, right? The for real on the student loans and buying a home. The government then gave these people the backing to say, you know what, give them a student loan, that's cool. We know that it's not going, this is something guaranteed. That's why I said till death do us part. Like nothing, no bankruptcy can erase a student loan. Side note, for all of you guys that want to go with the debt forgiveness, blah, blah, blah plan, the only way to forgive your loan, you have to be working for a nonprofit for, I don't know, and then make a payment of 10 years. Like, it makes so much sense, right? That be the only way. But for all you paying a debt company, like, I don't know, I paid them $700 so they can erase my student loans. Like, check into that. Call the student loan people yourself. Never respond to something that somebody called you for. Only respond to people that you seek after. Because if they called you, they most likely a scam. Mind you, another side note, if you buy a house and people ask you to pay $80 to get the deed, that's a scam right there. As soon as you buy your house, a bunch of people are going to mail you stuff, and they might be scams. Most likely 9 times out of 10. So you call your title company to see if this is accurate, if this is something you should do. And then I heard about somebody wiring like $100,000 to buy a house 10 days before settlement. What? Wiring the whole amount of money for the house? They almost lost $100,000. I mean, I can't go down that rabbit hole. So back to what we're talking about. Student loan. Maybe another day we'll talk about just scams, right? All right. So student loans are a problem because I've seen them make or break people's ability to buy a home. So let's just say you made your little 30 grand or you made your little 40 grand. I mean, you might be all right, right? But if you like $20,000, right, and you got $50,000 in debt, look, think about it. $100,000 is like you already have a house, right? They don't just give you another house if you have a house without checking your debt to income ratio. Debt to income ratio is how much debt do you have compared to your income, right? So it has to be a certain percentage. They rise and fall on these 0.64, 0.49. This is the DTI, blah, blah, blah. This is what you hear from lenders. I'm not a lender, right? So I'm just talking about my experience. I don't know all the ins and outs of student loans. You got to get all that from the lender, right? So these things hinder people because the government said we gave you money to go to school the first time, right? We are not going to give you money to just keep on spending because FHA is like, the government is backing that thing. It's 3.5. That's your first time home buyers. If you want a first time home buyer program, that's one right there. You don't have to pay 5%. You don't have to pay 20% down. They're making it 3.5. That's your first time home buyer right there, right? So the government's trying to make it easy for you, but if it has to be your first time. So now they said, if you have student loans, we want you to pay. We want you to be in a repayment program, and we don't want you to just like pay a little bit. Like, we want you to really start paying this down, and then we'll give you a house. And if your income is not matching, we're going to deny you. Like, no, you're not getting it. So that's why it's a big issue. So number one, debt to income ratio, just mentioned it. It affects your debt to income ratio, how much you have, right? How much you owe. So let's just say you had 2 car notes in your name. That's going to affect your income greatly. You know, whatever you have in your name, whatever credit card you have in your name. That's why when you have a high like credit card bill, the first thing they say is pay it down to this, pay it down to that. You might have $3,000 on your credit card. You got to pay it down to like $500, right? Like, that's just a must. Like, that's honestly, if you have in that situation, just pay it down, because you need to keep your credit cards below 30%. Now, debt to income ratio, very, very important. Number 2 still has something to do with number 1. 1% is what they will not charge you, but that's what they will apply to your debt to income ratio. So if you owe $70,000, $700 of that is 1%, right? They're going to take that $700 and add that to your debt and say, does this person really qualify for this or this amount, right? So if you're making a certain amount of money, you're good. If you're making like 60 grand and you have like 90 grand in student debt, you might be okay if you don't have other debt. You might. But that 1% can make or break some people that don't make a lot of money. And that's why they're not able to buy a house at this time. Good morning. So number 3, if you go in default, listen, income tax season is coming in like 5 months, right? I don't know. Yeah, 5 months, right? Let's just say March. 5 months, right? You're in default. You need to call them today, and you need to make a payment arrangement with them. You need to start paying on your student loans right now, okay? If you're doing income-based or whatever, like, you could do it like real smooth, right? You could be like, look, I only got $50. They can take that $50 and spread it all through all those loans. If you give them the proper paperwork, they'll do income-based, right? But you got to do this. Listen, nobody likes paperwork. You got to be able to do it. So what happens is they'll take that $50 payment and they'll spread it against all of them. Now, that's helping your credit, because every time you're late on a student loan payment, it's like you have 20 loans out, right? If you didn't consolidate it, right? Because every semester is a different loan, blah, blah, blah. I don't know why I'm getting darker. Oh, there you go. So it's like 20 lates. 20, when you don't pay, it's like 20 of them, right? At one time, every month. So if you don't have any good credit to fight that, you're always going to look crazy when you don't pay your student loans. And then when you get into default, you're at risk. Number 1, they can take your income taxes if you didn't know, so call them today. Number 2, they can go garnish your wage, so call them today, right? Default is not a good thing. And it takes like 9 months to get out of default or something like that. Don't quote me. But after the 5th month, then maybe the mortgage company will say yes. I'm not sure. Depends on your mortgage company. But you need to start making payments today. Make $100 or something. Whatever you agree with them. Make those payments so you can get yourself out of default. Now, Ruth, you're like, I got these loans. Ruth, what do you want me to do? All right. So here's some solutions. I don't just give you problems. I'm giving you solutions. Number 1, you need to call them. Better call Tyrone or Fannie Mae. Call them. All right. Call them and make an arrangement. Make that payment. Do that thing. Start making those payments. It's good for you, because trust me, you don't want to do it forever. Like, some people, they are just like, to the grave. Where my to the grave people at? To the grave. Or they'll be like, I'm taking classes forever. The only time it's going to hurt you is if you actually continue to build more debt. Like, at some point, it's just like, all right, this is ridiculous, right? And then start going to school for something that's actually going to make you money, right? Just like change the whole plan. Just make some money with your degree. Shaking my head on how many degrees I have that I'm not using. Number 2, I said pay something. Be consistent. Then I want you to, if you feel like, look, I really need this house, and I really have this debt, you're going to have to make more money so that your income portion can go higher. I don't know how you're going to do it. Make more money, right? We got videos on that. Go find videos on how to make more money. On the books. Everything I say is on the books. I don't want to hear no, I make this. Right. Kill all the other debt that you have so it won't be a problem anymore. So yes, you may have student loans till death do you part. Yes, you may have to get a better job in order to pay them off and pay them down. But that's a problem to handle later. Right now you need to get a house, right? I don't know. Maybe 30 years from now, when you sell your house, you can pay your student loans off. I don't know. Whatever your strategy is, whatever it is, share this video, right? Because I gave you some good nuggets on how to get, you know, out of this situation. And I hope it helps. And that's it. Share it, share it, share it, share it, share it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow, Monday. Bye.